Hi and welcome to lesson 10 where we're going to be exploring types of data. To start off, I'm going to open up Microsoft Excel. Once open, I'm going to then open the lessons spreadsheet that I was working on before. Now we've got two worksheets. I'm clicking on the tabs at the bottom, that's what these are called, tabs. And the first sheet has become a little bit messy. I've mixed the sizes of the cells up. So what I'm going to do is give myself something clean to work with. I'm going to right click on the sheet tab and select delete. It's going to warn me I can't undo this, and I'm simply going to confirm the deletion. I've only got sheet 2 now, and what I'm going to do, as we've done before, I'm now going to double click, that click twice with the left hand mouse button, and then I'm just going to rename this. Let's call this one types of data. Okay, so what do I mean by types of data? Well, we've already seen that I can type things in and they're going to be accepted into the cell. Each cell can hold one piece of data and only one piece of data, but I can keep typing things in, and we know that we've got over 1 million cells down by over 2.5 million cells left to right, so we've got a lot to play with. What if I put in a number? Well, suddenly I've got a change. The number has moved to the right of the cell while the words are on the left of the cell. What Excel is recognizing here is that these first two are text, these are words, while this third one is a number, and it's recognizing it as a number, and that's really useful. I can do decimal numbers. I can put in dates. I can put in times. So there's a range of things that Excel will recognize, and they will recognize it differently to simply text that we started off with before. So what kind of types do I have available? Well, if we look here, I've got a range of options that I can select here. In fact, this one that says number is a little bit disingenuous because it's really not about just number, it's about all the data types. And if I click here, I can see a number of the most popular formats that the system uses. We've got general, it's not really defined, but over here is text. So if I go to this cell here, I can see that it's marked general. I could tell it to be text. Nothing's changed. It was text before. I could go to here. It's still seeing it as general, but it's treating it as a number format. I could define it as number. The thing about that is Excel's now decided that because it's a number, and now I've confirmed it as a number, it's given me 2 decimal places, and I might not want those. So that's a little bit frustrating. I can get around that. If I look at this number area under the Home tab, I've got these options here. This one removes the decimal places. This one increases the decimal places. So if I wanted to return just a 2, I simply remove all those trailing zeros. Okay, so that's really useful. What else can I do with these buttons here? Well, let's say I put 2.3. That's very nice, but maybe it's not 2.3. Maybe it's some money. So I can simply click on this button and it will change it to your locality's currency. But what if I don't want it in that currency? Well, if I click on the little drop down next to it, I can change the currency. So there's US, there's the euro, and I can go to more accounting formats and it will give me a range of symbols that I'm able to use. So let's just look at that again. I can enter a number. So it looks like 4.5 is messy for currency. Click on there, click on the currency, and it will change it into currency. If I want to change the currency type, I can use the most popular ones in my region. Or if I want to be more elaborate, then I can click on more accounting formats, and then I can decide which format I would want to use. And there's, as you can see with the scroll bar here, there is a lot of them. So that's really useful. I've got currency. You'll also notice that it changed it from 4.5 to 4.50. So it's recognized that it should have the decimal places for that format. I can use decimals. But I might decide that actually that's not just a decimal, it's a percentage. So I could use the percentage sign. I can even type in a number and using the keyboard press the percentage sign and the computer will recognize it as a percentage sign. So I can create percentages using the keyboard or change numbers into percentages by clicking on this symbol here. What if I type in a large number? Well, I have this option here. I might be in a situation where I want this to have commas to separate out the characters. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to add characters. Notice it's put trailing zeros. We can get rid of those or put those back. Notice it's seeing, can you see it's saying accounting there? It's assuming that this column is all part of this accounting range. If I click somewhere else for general, then it will act differently. I've got short date and long date. So I can take a date like the 13th of the 1st 2022 that I used earlier, select it, it's chosen it. If we just check, it says date. I can change it to long date or I can change it back to short date. It's up to me. And obviously we have time there. Other ones we've got, well, let's look at our giant number here. I could change that to scientific. Remember I said earlier I could put in decimals, but I could change those to fraction and that will work. So there's a number of formats I've got available to me that I can work with here. The difference, by the way, between currency and accounting is down to the way the numbers are represented. So let's put in some nice numbers. Let's select those numbers and then I'm going to choose currency. So I now have everything spaced out and that's quite nice. I'm going to extend the size of this cell. I'm going to take it to 100 and you can see that that's all stuck to the left hand side. Now what I'm going to do is keep the same numbers, select them again and this time choose accounting. Now if I widen the cell, you'll notice that for accounting purposes the symbol is being kept to the one side and the value to the other side. There are also changes for negative values. Let's use this and I'm going to make this negative. Now I could just start typing the number again, but actually one of the things I could do much more effectively is start using this formula bar. I'm going to go up to the formula bar, I'm going to click just before the first one, I'm going to put a minus symbol in there and press enter. Now let's put the minus symbol on this side of the pound sign. I'm going to go to here and do the same thing here, put the minus sign in and press enter, and it's done the same thing here. So it's changing the format, allowing me to see how the currency is presented, so the currency is much clearer here. Let's have a look at one other thing. I'm going to take this number and I'm going to put the commas. Can you see how the cell is expanding? And you might have caught a glimpse of something when I was using the date symbol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force Excel to not display the whole number. If you see this series of hash marks, it's not a problem. The computer is telling you, Excel is telling you, that it can't display all of the data, that more data exists. It's just saying you need to widen the cell, and now you can see it. So we've got a range of data types available to us. This is just the main selection. If I go to more number formats, I've got much more control. I can even create my own. But we'll look at that at a later date. So that's types of data. This tool here is incredibly useful. So we're going to use that more as we go through the lessons. Anyway, in the next lesson, we're going to look at formatting the data. So see you in lesson 11.